There was something special about Christmas in the 1970s. The magic showed up in the crushed tinsel garland, in the soft blink of the lights, and in the smell of pine mixed with spray-on snow. Before the perfect ideas from the internet, decorating the house for the holidays was less about making everything match and more about what you could feel. A crooked ornament was fine, a faded bow, a string of lights about to snap, because every little detail held a memory. Walking into the living room in December felt like being swallowed up by that full world, shining in every corner, ready for one more family night. Number 1. Those giant plastic candles with a light bulb inside were almost like characters in the house. They showed up every December, taking over the front windows like silent guardians, always in pairs. You'd turn them on the first week of the month and only switch them off after New Year's, like Christmas lived there as long as that light was on. The red and gold were already scratched by time, marked by many winters spent up in the attic. They didn't flicker like a real flame, but they made a low humming sound, a little electric warmth that seemed to wake up the whole room. Walking around the neighborhood at night, you saw the same scene over and over. Window after window lit up, glass fogged over with frost, and that steady glow pointing out toward the street. Some people mixed everything together. Colored twinkle lights, metallic tree, mechanical Santa climbing a ladder. And some people preferred just the 2 solid candles, one on each side, as if that was all it took to say, "It's Christmas here." If you were a kid, maybe it was your job to push the switch hidden behind the curtain. It was a tiny gesture, but it felt like turning on a lighthouse of magic. And even when the plastic turned yellow and the wires got all knotted up, almost nobody had the heart to throw them away. They were more than decorations. They were the way the house announced that December had begun. And outside, the whole street seemed to be waiting for the rest of the show. Number 2. Ribbon candy and sugar-coated gumdrops. If you grew up visiting grandparents or aunts and uncles in the 1970s, you probably remember that heavy glass dish resting on the coffee table like it was part of the official home decor. Inside it, the ribbon candy formed a colorful block, lined up so perfectly it looked more like decoration than something to eat. You'd reach out your hand, try to pull just one piece, and discover they were all stuck together, like they'd made a pact to never let go. Even so, you kept trying. Everybody did. Right next to it, the gumdrops gleamed in deep colors, like tiny sugar-covered gemstones. Nobody really knew who bought them. Nobody remembered seeing the package. But somehow they appeared right after Thanksgiving and stayed there, solid, through the whole month of December. Almost nobody truly ate them. The dish sat there more as a permanent holiday set piece. The candy, in the end, was just part of the story. The dish shared space with a bowl of nuts, half-open Christmas cards, and here and there a forgotten piece of tinsel garland. Guests would take a candy out of politeness, kids would sneak 2 or 3 when they thought no one was looking, and moms would top it back off to keep the festive mood going. And it's totally possible that same dish is still sitting on some shelf today, maybe without candy, but still catching the glow of the tree and quietly holding all those little scenes. Number 3. Before phone playlists, the Christmas mood started when someone came home with a Firestone or Goodyear LP under their arm. It didn't come from the record store, but from the tire shop. The clerk would hand over the album along with the receipt, a quick "Merry Christmas," and the smell of new rubber. In no time, The colorful cover would be propped up next to the stereo, announcing tracks with Andy Williams, Perry Como, Doris Day, and so many others who seemed to live right there in the living room. The wooden console was almost like a holiday altar. Dad would lift the lid carefully, place the record on, lower the needle slowly, and only then let himself fall back into the recliner, like he'd just turned Christmas on. The first crackles broke the silence, quickly swallowed by voices spreading through the house, mixing with the smell of pine, cinnamon candles, and the distant clatter of pots and pans in the kitchen. While the fireplace popped and the tree lights blinked, the dog curled up on the rug seemed to sway along with the record. Before each side ended, somebody was already flipping through the stack of album covers leaning against the cabinet, picking which volume would come next, almost like changing radio stations. Year after year, new records joined the pile. Firestone, Goodyear, True Value, each company trying to press its own slice of Christmas spirit into shiny vinyl. In the corner, a whole collection formed, telling the story of many Decembers in a row, each cover tied to a certain year, a trip, or a long-awaited present. And all it took was the needle dropping into the right groove for everything to come back. Laughter in the living room, tinsel garlands tangled in the curtains, wrapping paper crumpled all over the floor, and the roll of tape forgotten on the coffee table, while the steady sound of the record kept everyone close by, as if Christmas wasn't just coming, but being built track by track. Number 4, Bucilla felt stockings. If you lived through the 70s, you probably remember them even before opening the box of decorations. They weren't bought ready-made at the store. They came to life on the dining room table, where a mom or grandma spread out patterns, thread, and little felt pieces under the glow of a lamp beside the ceramic Christmas tree. There, night after night, snowmen, reindeer, and sparkly Santas slowly appeared. Each sequin was sewn on by hand, one at a time, until the plain fabric turned into a Christmas scene. Some stockings got a snowman with a crooked smile, others a reindeer with silver hooves, or Santa holding a green present that looked almost real when the tree lights hit it. They weren't perfect. A looser stitch here, a missing bead there, a slightly crooked cut. That's exactly what made them feel so alive. These Bucilla kits weren't some quick weekend hobby. They took weeks, stitched between batches of cookies, wrapping presents, and holiday TV specials. When the family finally hung the stockings on the mantel, many with the kids' names cut out in felt, the whole mood shifted. Seeing your own name shining among the colored lights was almost like getting a silent notice that Christmas had officially started. Today, a lot of those stockings still show up in the homes of people who kept them with care. A bit faded, maybe missing a sequin or two, they've survived moves, changing trends, and home remodels. They're still there, filled with candy canes and little childhood secrets, reminding us that in the middle of so many new things, there's a kind of tradition you simply can't buy off a shelf. And all it takes is someone picking one up, feeling the raised stitching for the long evenings to come back. The smell of something baking in the oven and the sound of the TV in the background, setting the stage for the next chapter of this Christmas story. Number 5, Shiny Brite ornaments. Those thin little globes that made you hold your breath when you hung them. The pink, gold, and turquoise stripes seemed to steal some of the light from the twinkle bulbs and even from the shaky glow of the TV in the living room. You held each one like it was one of a kind, turning it slowly to find the best spot on the branch. And there was always that one ornament with a chipped piece, the one that ended up hidden in the back, almost touching the wall. It was the family secret ornament, present on every tree, in every house, in every December. If this little walk through the shine of the Shiny Brites, the plastic candles, and the glowing living room made you smile, go ahead and click subscribe. I'm going to keep bringing images, sounds, and stories from holidays gone by, so this warm feeling in your chest doesn't get lost. And if you're on Facebook, come hang out in our little vintage Christmas corner where we trade memories, show off our old decorations, and laugh while we decide whether that angel hair was truly magical or just a little bit dangerous. Number 6. Before emails and digital messages, Christmas arrived in the form of paper cards. Shiny angels, raised lettering, and little red bells slowly took over the living room. My mom would run a piece of string across the doorway and, with tiny clothespins, hang them one by one until a colorful banner of holiday wishes stretched across the room. Neighbors, relatives, distant co-workers, each card was silent proof that someone, somewhere, had stopped their day to think about our family, and that growing wall of paper came with a growing sense of belonging to a big invisible web of people. Number 7. That angel hair snow. From a distance, it looked perfect for decorating the fireplace or wrapping around the tree branches. But all it took was a touch to remember why it was so feared. Made of spun glass, it prickled your skin and left a stubborn itch behind. Even so, when the lights came on and danced across that soft shimmer, no one could resist spreading just a little more, pretending the discomfort wasn't there. Number 8. The ceramic Christmas tree with glowing plastic pegs. Almost every grandma had one. It sat on top of the TV stand or on a side table, sending out that soft glow that seemed to warm the air. Some were green, others white, and whoever was lucky still had every single peg in place. While the hum of the television filled the background, the tree's light set the quiet rhythm of Christmas Eve, and the kids would argue over who got to plug it in, while the grown-ups let the conversation wander without hurry. Number 9. The Woolworth's nativity set. Simple, but sacred. Every year it came out of the same beat-up box. Hand-painted plaster figures, baby Jesus with a chip on his forehead, one wise man always a little crooked, and the donkey patched up with glue. Nothing about it was perfect, and maybe that's exactly what made it so special. It was living proof that Christmas lived more in the habit of setting up the scene together as a family than in the shine of the pieces themselves. Before we move on to the next chapter of this trip through a 1970s living room, I want to hear from you. So tell me, when you think about Christmas from that time, what comes to mind first? The decorations, the smell of tinsel and pine, an unforgettable present, or some simple moment that stayed with you forever? Leave your memory down below. Who knows? Maybe it'll show up in the next video when we open this chest of memories together again. Number 10. In the bathroom of the old house, the Avon Christmas cologne bottles stood in a row on the sink like little guards. Santas, snowmen, reindeer, and angels, all with a faint smell of aftershave and talc, sat there mostly just to be seen. Every December, a new bottle arrived, and the collection grew as if time itself could fit inside those small, colorful glass bodies. In the living room, Christmas in the 1970s didn't have to match. The worn-out rug, the crooked tree, and the sound of the records created a simple but complete scene. The plastic candles flickered in the window, the felt stockings sagged little by little, and the candy dish always seemed full, even when someone snuck a caramel at the end of the night. Nothing there was perfect, but everything had a story. Inherited ornaments, handmade gifts, laughter echoing through the house. And even if the angel hair made your neck itch and the light strings kept getting tangled, you knew that clumsy glow was what made it all worth it, because that living room was more than just a place. It was the exact way to remember what it felt like to be home. And that's it for today. Between cologne bottles, tangled lights, and simple memories, we're reminded that what really matters was never perfection, but the feeling. If this video stirred up even a little bit of your nostalgia, share it with someone who lived, or would have loved to live, through a Christmas like that. Thanks for staying with me till the end, and see you in the next video.